Ready, steady, and go. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Language Geeks Worldwide. My name is Thomas, and this is
Sonia.
Sonia. Hello, Sonia. Welcome. Thank you for joining me for my interview. As you already probably know, I'm from Slovakia, and you, Sonia, this is a little bit more complicated, right?
Yes, but just call me Russian. It's simple. Let me be Russian today.
Okay, so you are from Russian and also from the rest of the earth, almost.
And I never been to Russia yet, so
Yeah.
I've been everywhere but in Russia, but I'm Russian.
Yeah, me neither. Actually, this is funny because a lot of people from all over the world think that like all Slavic people talk Russian, or all.
Really?
Last time I was making a video with Vietnamese girl from Vietnam, and when I mentioned I'm from Slovakia, she was like, "Oh, so you speak Russian, right?"
Maybe for Vietnamese people, yes, they think we speak the same language, but actually, yeah, it's the same group. I'm sure for foreigners who are non-Slavic speakers, we sound the same.
Because you know why? Because before 1989, the Velvet Revolution, right?
Yeah.
We were like under Russia.
Yeah, some older people, they speak Russian
yeah.
until now. I heard that a couple of times.
So
like 50, 60 years older, they speak not well, but they get it because they probably study at school whenever they were small. But your name is Thomas or Tomasz?
It's Tomasz. Tomasz.
Because if I read it with the diacritica, then it's sh. I was like, okay, why? Yeah, okay.
It's actually the same like English or American Thomas, but we have Tomasz. We have a long letters. We have a, it's short a, and long a is a. So, and we have also we have s and we have sh. So we have like I don't know what is English for this, but we call it like softeners, mekčen. So
yeah, we have it in Russian, something similar. Yeah.
So it makes every letter sounding more softly.
But you know what was my problem when I firstly start chatting or reading Slovak messages? That you guys don't use all this diacritica, you know?
Yeah, right.
And you understand, and sometimes people forget that I'm not Slovak speaker. And you need to use all the, and I'm like, how do I supposed to? Now I get it when it's what, you know, but first time it was like, okay, guys, you need to consider that I'm not Slovak speaker yet.
Exactly. Actually, I don't use these symbols too because to save time, you know. If I had to write everything with, you know, mekčen softeners and those things, I would, you know, I would go crazy. It would be complicated. It would take so much time, you know, to write everything correctly, you know.
But my phone has a predictive Slovak text, and I have no problem. I start first letters even without diacritica, and it comes Slovak with the full thing. That's why people like, oh, you spend so much time typing all these symbols. I don't. My
your phone does it.
Yeah, it does. In WhatsApp, I can type with full diacritica symbols and have no problems. It's like with English, it's same predictive text.
Well, I had this function turned on when I had my previous mobile phone, but I kind of didn't like it because that phone always offered me some words I don't know to I don't know to use, I don't know to write. So I don't know.
You just don't use it. I don't know. For me, it's very nice help because sometimes I don't know when to put long A or short A or whatever, and it just tells me, so it's very useful actually. And then I remember if I type it correctly or the phone types it, I kind of photograph it with my eyes, and then I remember it's like reading, when it's one of the best tools to study language is to read, because you can, like, I'm trying to read the Slovak book and I memorize how it's written, so it's a very good tool for me.
So I would say you are not going to learn correct Slovak on Facebook, because
no, for sure not.
Because a lot of people don't use these diacritics to save time while texting,
Yeah, but I get it now, I study Slovak, 4 months now, 6,
4 months?
Something between 4 or 6 months. I started in summer when I came, and I kind of get it, when is what, which letter. So without diacritica is not a problem, but I prefer to learn it, in the correct way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So why actually did you come to Bratislava and to what is the purpose of being in Slovakia? if it's not secret.
The question is like, why do you come to Bratislava? Or the question is, what the fuck are you doing in Bratislava? Like many people, sorry for my language, like many Slovak people ask me, like, what the fuck? Why are you here? Okay, it's okay, I'll keep it short. My profession is training of the sport horses.
Sport horses?
Yes, and
wow.
I teach horse riding, I train horses, and I sell horses. And as I was working, as I told you, all over the world, I still have clients who would like to purchase the horse. Mexico, Dubai, Taiwan, China, all of these countries buy horses from Europe, because Europe is the best place to purchase the sport horse, because sport horses are made in Europe and bred in Europe. So many of these people, like my old students, which I used to teach horse riding, they would like to progress, they would like to go to certain levels in horse riding, and of course they need their own horses, which are made like for them, So I'm used to travel all the time to Europe to find a horse, to select, to purchase, to ship, and it's, when you live in Taiwan, it's 13 hours flight. When you live in Mexico, it's 14 hours flight, just another way. So it takes a little bit too much, to travel. So for me, I decided I should be in the center, because I kind of have like my groups of students already, or my clients, let's say, in those countries. I don't need to be there. It spreads like word of mouth for my work. Let's say, yes, I bought the horse for one of my students, they recommend me to the friends, and blah, blah, blah. So I choose to come back to Europe. Why Bratislava? It's cheap to live, relatively.
Yeah, relatively.
Slovakia in general. It's pretty easy to get residence permit. Yes, prechodný pobyt. If you are entrepreneur, yes, podnikateľ. And it's pretty easy, doesn't need a lot of budget and stuff. And so now I have a residency in Slovakia, which allows me to work all over the European Union. Yet, of course, I pay taxes in Slovakia and insurance and everything. but as per my experience, Slovakia is the cheapest country I lived in.
Oh my God.
Really. I mean, if you have 1,500 in Bratislava, you're kind of good. If you have 1,500 in Dubai, you
Are
may
not good.
have like 3 days in a hotel, something like that, or a very small studio somewhere outside in some emirate of Ajman or somewhere, you know. So, and still, it's kind of center of Europe, Bratislava itself. So if I need to go and quickly check the horse, I can go all of my markets where I buy it. Austria, Hungary, Germany, Holland, it's all, you can drive or you can fly or you can whatever. And actually now I figure out that there are not bad horses to be sold in Slovakia itself. Oh, I think it's not bad. So first reason it was that it's easy to get the residency and have a legal work, you know, paying taxes and everything in here, and access to European market and being in the center, you know.
Well, this is very interesting for me to hear, because I've never heard about this, that something like this is in Bratislava. Where exactly, which part of city is this this horse training?
The stable now I'm kind of training in is in Lozorno.
Lozorno. Yeah, I know this.
It's a big private farm in there. They breed horses, train, they compete, participate in competition. Then a couple of years ago, one of the sheikhs from Emirates built the complex in Chamorin, Xbayoni. So this year, like recently in October, they host 2 of the biggest competitions in Europe. Global Champions Tour, like 2 etaps, I think. And it means all top riders of the world were in Chamorin these 2 weeks. Oh. It's so hard to imagine for Slovakia, because before it was like not many people knew what is the Slovakia is where, you know. But now Chamorin is very good complex. It's amazing, like facilities is fantastic.
I never heard about this. So it's not like directly in Bratislava, it's in Lozorno, right? That area of horse training.
No, you have many stables in Bratislava itself. There is a riding school in Petržalka, maybe 3 of them.
Really?
Ivanka Pridunaj, Lamač, they all have riding schools. I think even one in Rakunia somewhere.
Rakunia.
Or in Ružinov, somewhere there are riding schools in the city.
Well, that's really interesting. We have also actually horses in my city. It's I live in Piešťany.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, it's Spa city, 80 kilometers from Bratislava. We have also horses here, but I don't know. It used to be a school as well, but I'm not sure what is it now. I just know there are horses, but I don't know what is.
Yeah, they have a sport club there. I know.
Yeah, something like that. But
yeah.
I remember when I was a child, when I was kid, I was there with my parents, and I remember I was sitting on one horse and like riding with instructor.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this works. I also heard that they do some like horse treatment, something like with psychology, you know.
Yeah, hippotherapy.
Yes. Hippotherapy, yeah. So maybe.
I don't think it's really works, but people do that.
Yeah, because a lot of people love to hug animals, to hug horses and stuff like that. So maybe it's for them, you know, it calms them down, makes them feel better, or
okay, we are fine with that.
Yeah.
We can tell them horses too if they want to hug them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And about the Bratislava, this is kind of funny also for me, because we in Piešťany, like me and my friend, we are dreaming about moving to Bratislava, but you know, a flat that I am living in here, it's one room. It's called Garzonka.
A studio.
And I bought this flat for 43,000 euros, and the same flat would cost like
140,
yeah, maybe 100. It depends if it's in center or somewhere else, but yeah, it can be like from 70 to 120,000. So
yes, I'm looking now to buy some flat in Bratislava, and prices are quite.
So for us, from smaller towns, Bratislava is like, oh, pretty expensive. But yeah, it's still better than Dubai. That's right.
Everything is better than Dubai, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and okay. So about English. So you are learning you are learning Slovak language. That's your priority now, isn't it?
I don't have a priorities, but I think if I live in this country and I have residency of it, I have to be able to at least communicate, because first of all, and the funniest thing ever, I met it only in Bratislava. Cudziecká polícia. You think they speak any language but Slovak?
Yeah.
It's funny, guys. You work with the foreigners. You're supposed to speak at least English. They do not.
they were Cudziecká polícia, and they could speak just Slovak.
Exactly. It's logic, right?
Yeah.
So when I came there first time, thank God I got, like, first of all, I speak Russian, so I kind of understand the logic of the language, and I was studying Slovak, some online courses for like a couple of weeks. So I had some words in my mind because the guy spoke only Slovak, and I didn't have any translator with me because, of course, it's not my first residency I'm getting, and polices in all other countries, they spoke English, you know.
My God,
it was so funny,
but
we managed. And as I can follow the groups on Facebook or my friends who are foreigners, most of them have problems with that, because Slovak language is kind of language who will be able to be spoken by 5 million people and understood by another 5 million from Czech.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, 10 million, actually 10 million Czechs. There are twice as
no, I mean in general, like who the hell will learn Slovak in like normal life? I would never study Slovak if I will not come here, you know. So it's like weird. So you expect, as it's the foreigners police, they're supposed to speak at least some basic English. And most of my friends, foreigners who are here, they like, no, they don't. And you're like, So it was funny for me, as well as recently I had been in the post office. Post office is pretty much international thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was guy, I think he was German or Austrian. He need to send money to his account through the post, and I was waiting, and they couldn't communicate because he spoke English and German, and the ladies there spoke only Slovak. So they asked somebody in the room to help them translate, and it was funny because none of the people who were inside, they spoke English or something. So I went and I say, okay, I don't speak pretty good Slovak yet, but I can try. So, and it's hard because the guy was kind of old-ish. He couldn't use Google Translate or something. And God, it was funny. My broken Slovak, his broken English, but we managed, But come on, post office and police is the first places you expect to be speaking in at least, basic English.
I would say this is thing about Slovakia, which is still like at very low level, especially when we talk about older generations, because as we mentioned, they were used to Russian language, so this is very usual. I often see it in supermarkets, in stores, that there is some foreign guy that needs to help with something, and that lady starts to talk with him in Slovak, like you have to so
just slowly. She think it helps,
Yeah.
But the funny thing, they don't understand that for me as a Slavic native speaker, not Slovak, but Slavic language native speaker,
right.
Slovak is I kind of get it, the system. But if the person is German or English speaking, it's nonsense.
Yeah.
They like, oh, you can put this predmet and prísudok in any position and it's gonna work. I'm like, yes, it's logic. We do the same in Russian. They're like, seriously? In English, if you do that, you're like retarded. Or why do you need cases? The what is called prípad? Podstatné meno.
Podstatné meno, pridávne meno. Yeah.
Yes, it's like, why the fuck you guys need that? And I get it. For me, it's normal. Everything has podstatné meno. It's normal, right?
I think in English they also have it's called noun, right? It's called noun and adjective.
Oh, but come on, you don't change ending of the word in English.
Yeah.
Depending if it's he, she, or it. It's the same. They're like, but it's logical. If it's he, if I say he jumps, or he walks, or she walks, or it walks, it works for them, yes. But in Slovak, you need to change the end. They're like, huh? And then if you want to put it in the past, Slovak, it become, you need to add what? Bol, bola, what, why the fuck? And change the end of the word. And then the brain explodes. And I get it because Russian is the same. We have podstatné mena, we have changing of the ending depends of the gender. We have like cases. We can put predmet and prísudok anywhere and it's gonna work. And for them, it doesn't. So my friends who tried to study Slovak, they gave up because they like, guys, how can you learn?
And does Russian language have also, in English, it's called declensions, I think. It's nominative, genitive. Do you know this one?
Inclinations.
Declinations. Nominative is who or what. For example, Tomáš. Genitive is from who or
to
from
who,
what?
To what? Yes.
It's od Tomáša, from Tomáš. Dative is to whom, like komu, čomu, Tomášovi. Dative, nominative, genitive, dative, local.
Yes, this is cases.
Cases.
We have it in Russian, but English doesn't have it.
English doesn't. And this is, I think, the most difficult about the Slavic languages, because this is crazy. But
that's what I'm talking about. Yes. And then it also, you have it, how many? It's 9 groups of something of the ends, or 12 groups of the endings. And then for them it's like impossible, but for me it's normal. Is we use it the same way in English or in Russian, but that's why I think English has become the international language because it's so primitive, so simple. Everybody can learn. There's not strict rules. Even if I make mistakes, everybody can understand. Like, for example, when I was in China or Taiwan, it's like the system of the language is so different that I speak many, but I don't understand how. For in total 4.5-ish years in China and Taiwan, I don't know any words or phrases. It's impossible. They're like, oh, you don't need the alphabet. You just read the picture. Read the picture, pretty easy, right? You don't have alphabet, you just read the picture. It's simple. And they're like, oh, why the fuck you need alphabet? It's complicated. Make words with the letters stuff. For them, it's impossible. For example, when I was in Mexico, it was instead, I didn't speak Spanish, but the letters are the same, Romanic German alphabet. I can read the letters. I can pretty much read the word correctly, and I kind of can get it, what is written. If I know if there is a phrase of 3 words and I know 1 word, I can get it. There are the other 2. In China or Chinese language, you can't get it because you cannot read it. And I try to learn by listening. And if you hear, for example, if I don't speak Spanish, but I hear 2 people speak Spanish, and my brain goes, this word I heard before, and this word I heard before too, and this word I heard 15 minutes ago, and this means that, and that means that. When I hear Chinese, it's a noise. It's a white noise. I have no idea what, it's just sound. I cannot distinguish where is the word starts, where it's finished. That's why, for me, I think Chinese is impossible. It's ridiculous. You just can't understand the system unless you spend like half of the life trying to get it, but impossible for me.
That's why Chinese language is very good, very well paid in jobs, because there are like few people who can speak Chinese, right? And so they have every word, they had like 1 picture, right? And it's the word.
No, it can be up from the word to the whole sentence. That blows my mind. I had a translator with me, and I'm going like, oh, this hieroglyph, what does it mean? She's like, it depends. I'm like, on what? Position of the hieroglyph, or the time of the day, the person who says that, the person who it's addressed to.
So it's like so Chinese is like Facebook communications with emojis, right? Maybe a little.
Yes, basically it is like that, but we cannot get the system because none of our language, neither Slavic nor Romanian German, we don't have the same system. At least Slavic language and Romanic German groups have an alphabet. We have logic. Take the letters, put them in the order, and you have a word, put a few words in an order, you get a sentence, and so on. Doesn't work that for Chinese. You're screwed if you don't. And I just can't. But I should admit, I have 1 friend in Russia. He studies Chinese, and he asked me to help him with English. He's gonna be a translator from, I think it's English Chinese or English Russian Chinese. And he's like, oh, English is so hard. Chinese is way easier. I was like, you shut up. What do you mean Chinese is easier than English? Nothing is easier than English. And for him, it's easy. you know.
I've met a lot of people who say that for them it is impossible to imagine learning English because of the fact that everything is written differently than said.
Then spelled, yeah.
Spelled. That's the first thing, and also so is pronunciation and phrases and idioms, because when you translate English some English phrases into our Slavic languages, it doesn't make sense, right?
Exactly, yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And also there are a lot of phrases which are created by connecting words, like give is to give something to someone, right? But when you say give up, it means to, like, I give up, okay,
I stop at here, yes,
right?
yes.
So this,
no logic, I get it. Yeah.
So this is what makes English very, very difficult for a lot of people. Actually, a lot of these phrases I don't know either.
But you know, that's why I said when I was teaching English, it's very important to know what for are you studying, because if you're studying it to work in IT, you don't need to know what means raining cats and dogs. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You're not gonna use it basically, you know. You need some specific with the good grammar English, you know, like more like English by the book, you know. If it's only to travel, or let's say to communicate with the friends or boyfriends or whatever, then you need it more like English, like day-to-day English, you know. That's why it's a little bit two different ways of teaching and learning, because you need different phrases, you need different constructions, you need different material and stuff. Same when I was studying Slovak in the Krížom Krážom book, yes, online. It's like they give it very like correct language, like this and that. They give you structure. And now when I work, for example, in the stable in Lozorno, when everybody speaks Slovak, I'm like, nobody cares about structure or correct words. They put it whatever order and it works. You know, you learn more like spoken Slovak. And then I go and read like newspaper in Slovak, and it's more like, you know, more proper language or use. It's funny, you know. But I need day-to-day Slovak basically. So because most of my business is English spoken, but I live in Slovakia and I need spoken. So for me now, I don't study a lot of grammar, but I try to speak, write, read, or listen some Slovak, you know.
Have you heard the word one? One.
Huh?
Have you heard a word, Slovak word one? One.
One?
One.
No. Maybe in some phrase, I don't know.
It's a very used slang word which doesn't have a meaning. It's like empty word, like when you're thinking about like on a, what it was on a.
It's like no.
Yeah, but
I hear it very often. No.
Oh yeah, but such like hesitation word for.
That's I get it, and that's what I say. That's why you need to choose the system you want to learn.
And about English, about the reasons why I learn English. You know, it's actually this started when I established my first Facebook account, because I started to realize that I can connect with the whole world, you know. So I made a lot of foreign friends with Facebook, and it started to expand, you know, more and more people, and we started to chat about music, about fitness, about whatever, and I kind of enjoyed it. It's hard to I started to realize that it can be useful one day, and it actually is, because by this I learned much of English grammar and words.
But you don't work with English, do you?
I don't now, but I used to work with English when I was working in a hotel in Piešťany. As a bellboy. It's a guide for everything, like receptionist, but I also help people with baggage and later when I started doing fitness, I also translated one video course about training and regeneration and nutrition, you know. So I started to feel that when you know English, you are not limited by only what is in your country, like you know, mentality and job opportunities and everything. I started to realize that with English, the world is like more open to you, and you can. I also liked when I started to understand the song lyrics, because I love music, and also when I was doing fitness, I started to reading some articles about nutrition, but various researches, scientific researches about how the body works and how supplements, nutrition supplements works, and so on and so on. So the source of information is much wider, and it's actually there are so many reasons actually. All these things are. And also another reason is that I'm thinking about moving one day somewhere abroad, maybe, because, well, I'm playing with such a thought that maybe one day I would like to try living in United States, maybe.
All Slovaks want to go to United States. It's so funny. There is 250 more countries, but you guys all want to go to US.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's such a, you know, probably the American movies do this, because we see, you know, skyscrapers and California and all kind of. And I also used to watch fitness YouTubers, you know, American bodybuilders, and also because of English, because when you know the language, it's logical that it's easier to start living somewhere with that language, right?
Yes, but there are many English-speaking countries in the world.
That's true, but it's not like
I know what you need to do. You need to go there and live there 1 month, and I guarantee you're gonna change your mind.
Yeah, that's what everybody says to me.
Same happened to me when I was in Dubai and I left. I've been there like almost 5 years. And after I left, I went to Mexico City. Everybody was like, "Oh, you crazy. Dubai is the best country in the world. Why you left?" I'm like, "Yes, it's the best country in the world when you come for 2 weeks as a tourist."
Mhm.
But to live and work there is not good. It's a
Yeah.
plastic fantastic, we call it. It's very fake. It's very artificial and stuff. So
Yeah, I'm hearing this all the time, but on the other hand, there are so many people living there and they are satisfied, from Slovakia, from Czech Republic, from
in
Poland.
US,
Yeah,
but there are many, probably there are many who are not satisfied.
yeah,
And they're not living there because they left already. So it's a little bit, most of the people I know in which one I knew when I was in Dubai, like my friends or colleagues, I think 90% of them left. I left almost 4 years ago, or more, 5 years ago, and almost all of them left as well, back to Europe, because it's not a country you can live for a long time, as per my experience. It's it's a country without commitment. Everybody comes there, work a little bit, few years and leave back home or whatever. And this is kind of makes people, if you're not committed, you're like not very responsible or not very you don't care about other people, or you're not making steady friends or relations or whatever. You know what I mean?
well, it's said that living in America is very, very expensive, that people have 2 jobs or 3 jobs. I think it depends. I think if people are satisfied or not, it depends what they do for a living, because it's probably those who are satisfied probably have some business there, or they have business here in Slovakia, which creates a lot of money to live in America, right?
Mhm.
So maybe that's how also it might work for many people. But yeah, if you have to work in McDonald's like a million hours a month, so yeah, that.
But some people think Bratislava is very expensive. You need to make a lot of money here. For me, it's very cheap country, cheap city as well. The country, I mean, if you go even to east, is cheaper, I think, to live. Like far east of Slovakia. So for me, Bratislava is pretty cheap, but I know many people who think that Bratislava is ridiculously expensive. I'm like, oh, you guys don't know what is ridiculously expensive.
It's really
Taipei or Dubai or even Mexico City this is ridiculously expensive. Yeah.
because Slovaks out of Bratislava are used to. Well, Bratislava is like another world in
It's a country in the country.
Yeah, it's a country.
We call Moscow is the same in Russia. There is Russia and there is Moscow.
Yeah, Slovakia is like Bratislava is like a little America in Slovakia, I would say. High buildings and services are at much better level. Gastronomy, restaurants are more luxurious, and everything is better and higher and more expensive. And so if we want to experience something that looks cool on social media, we go to Bratislava.
Even though you can go to Budapest or Vienna or anything else, so like Poland, Ukraine. Yes, but it's funny for me when my boyfriend told me one phrase. He's like, what is Bratislavčan does on the weekend? Goes to výhody, because half of Bratislava is from the east part, and they all like go home and come back. It's funny. I don't know which other country does the same. Maybe, I don't know. Most of the time, like the city, like Dubai, who works in Dubai, they live in Dubai. Maximum like Sharjah, next Emirate. Moscow is the same, but it's funny.
Bratislava.
Capital. Yes, on Friday evening you drive to east and then you come back. It's really funny for me. But actually all Europe is like that, I think, more or less. But if you take, for example, Denmark or Sweden or Netherlands, the level of living doesn't vary from if it's capital or not. You can live good in Stockholm, you can live good in Malmo, the same way, or Göteborg, all these cities are basically the same level of salary, service, and everything. Netherlands are all the same. Doesn't matter if it's Amsterdam or it's Groningen or somewhere else. In Slovakia, it's Slovakia and Bratislava. Not even Bratislavský kraj, Bratislava only itself, because even the prices here in Stupava, or I don't know, Devingrad is already cheaper than Bratislava itself for rent or for living or for food or for whatever.
Yeah.
Very funny for me.
And also the position of Bratislava itself is crazy, because it's like Bratislava doesn't want to do anything have to do with like I'm not Slovakia, leave me alone.
Yes. Austria.
Yeah, Austria actually the same.
Yeah, it's funny. That's why for me it's very convenient for my work. If I can't fly by business from Bratislava airport, I can go to Vienna. It's like nearby, 40 minutes and you're there, or Budapest or somewhere else, so it's very...
But as far as the girls goes, although Bratislava is like city of let's say higher level, girls, it said that girls are not so, girls are more open, like more talkative to people that they don't know, and they are not such gold diggers, literally.
In Bratislava?
Yeah, it's
You're the first guy who told me that.
Really?
Usually I heard the opposite.
Well,
instead, the girls in Bratislava are more like money oriented and status oriented and stuff.
Yeah, I think it might, isn't it like this, that girls in Bratislava are more money oriented, but in a way that they are more ambitious and they want to earn, to do something, to to earn a lot of money.
And those are usually coming from the east.
Yeah.
To be honest.
But in small cities, it's like I think it's even worse, because everyone wants to live like Bratislavčan or like I don't know, king from Dubai, and I don't know, it's very, 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 I would say, individual. And
but at least I can see that I think because after Slovakia entered the European Union, a lot of international companies came here, and at least, and foreigners came, of course, they start to study some English, some international language, because the more you go east, the less people spoke in English there. But once they come to Bratislava, they kind of started to learn, English, at least English. Some of them, they spoke like German or something else, mostly because they work here, like in Vienna or somewhere. But, I think it's kind of good mix now. But unfortunately, only in Bratislava or around, because I think all the international companies still have factories or stuff in Bratislavský kraj, reasonably so. So, but it helps. But at the same time, it makes Slovakia even more different in a way of Bratislava. It separates more from the rest of Slovakia because of the same thing. So it's good and bad at the same time. But we'll see where it goes. Maybe sooner or later, all the Slovakia will become a big Bratislava. Because they build a lot in Bratislava now. Construction, new houses, all those villages. Like when I came to Bratislava first time, I came to Šamorín, actually. It was 2016 or 17. There was way less construction than is now. Now all those neighborhood villages like Rovinka or Most pri Bratislavi, they all like start to become, piece of Bratislava, like part of it. And now the new highway was opened, and it became even easier to access those villages. And like Rovinka has the same prices like Bratislava, because they're like, we are part of Bratislava now. So soon Bratislava will be like, it doesn't have 1 million, no, it has half
million.
Just wait a couple of more years.
we always make fun, like let's everyone move to Bratislava and let's make a sea from the rest of the Slovakia, so we will have ocean, like little ocean, and like and and what about your Slovak? Actually, what do internet connection is unstable? Do you hear me now?
No, I hear you well. Yes, no problem.
I had some description like internet connection is unstable.
No.
And your Slovak, do you think it's like A1 or A2, B1 or B2 or?
I would say grammatically, maybe A2, spoken, written, and understanding is B1, B2. I can read quite well. I understand quite well. I'm not well spoken only because I'm embarrassed. And grammar is a little off because I told you I spent on it maybe first 2-3 months when I thought it's very important. But now, as I'm just using it all the time, day-to-day life, I'm like, nobody cares about grammar. So I stopped. So if you do the test of all these 4 parts of the language, I think grammar is the weakest. And understanding, speaking, and reading is quite okay, I think. Especially if I know the topic, If you spoke about rocket science, I won't get it even in Russian or English. I'm not talking about Slovak. But by work or day-to-day life or some news, I can get it. It's not a problem. Many of the words are similar to Russian as well.
So you actually speak English, you speak Russian, right? You speak
Russian,
Sweden?
Danish, Swedish, Arabic, German.
Oh my God, really? So you are like a language gifted girl, I would say.
Yes, my brain operates in three transcriptions: Cyrillic, Latin, and Arab.
Mm.
Sometimes it explodes the brain because, especially when I speak Danish or Swedish, as the languages are so similar, you like, okay, you spoke some phrase or some sentence, and then you're like, okay, those two words I think were not Danish, they were Swedish.
Danish, Swedish, yeah.
But it's I wouldn't say those languages are the same. They are not as close as Slovak and Czech, for example. When I was in Czech Republic, I went around with the Slovak, no problem. They get it.
So Danish and Swedish, the difference is a little bit larger than between Slovak and Czech. Yes,
it's like Slovak and Russian.
For
example. It's the same logic, it's the same structure. Maybe 50% words are the same, but it's different languages. And then you add on top of that you can speak like Norwegian, which is similar to Danish and Swedish as well, or Icelandic. And when all of this mixes in your brain, you're done.
Yeah. I would say Slovak and Czech language are like American and British English, maybe. Or
that close? You think that close?
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's only because you're a native speaker.
Maybe. But
it's like Russian
or maybe it's like maybe it's a little bit more. The difference is maybe a little bit bigger than the American British English. It's maybe like American English and Scottish English, maybe, or
yeah, maybe,
or something like that. But actually, my name is Czech. I have Czech language. It's Vanya Czech. And I have a softener that Mekchen, you know, on first E, and we don't have this letter.
Yes, I noticed it. And
yeah,
I was like, why is like that?
Yeah, and because my grandmother and also father, actually, they were born in Moravia. It's Eastern Czech. So and we also we've been watching Czech TV programs since childhood, and my family is from Czech Republic, so we are really used to Czech language since we are.
But you know, it's the same happens to like Russian and Ukrainians. As far as Ukrainians nowadays trying to befriend Russians, and like we're not friends anymore, we speak different language. Come on, why people think that Russian and Ukrainian are very close languages? They like very similar because 90% or maybe 95% of Ukraine speak Russian. They don't speak Ukrainian. And for me, it was always like when people in Facebook have some fight, like, no, we are Ukrainian, we speak Ukrainian, and she writes it in English or in Russian. I'm like, all right, no problem. It's funny, but I think Ukrainian is, I don't speak Ukrainian, but I think it's pretty close to Russian. And 90% they speak Russian or some mix of Ukrainian and Russian. So I think it's the same with the Czech and the Slovak.
Yeah.
Similar, but if you speak Slovak in Czechia, they will understand, and vice versa.
But it's also said that the young generations like start to how would I say that young generation don't watch TV programs like we used to in childhood, because they are more on internet, right? So they don't understand Czech language as good as we do. I mean, generations like 10 years old kids, right? So maybe like after some time, people like Slovaks and Czechs who will not be able to understand as good as older generations, you know.
But it's normal, isn't it? Same was with the Russia and Kazakhstan, for example. Kazakhstan has its own language, Kazakh language, which I supposed to learn when I was small, but I don't remember even one word because I was born there. And when they were both Soviet countries, they had Russian. They studied in the school, everything was in Russian universities and so on. But after the Soviet Union collapsed, they kind of went to their own language, Kazakh. And nowadays, still, I would say 80% speak Russian, but younger generation is more drawn to like Kazakh language. And it's very different from Russian. But it's their right, you know, if they want to. But the good thing that instead of Ukrainians, which are trying to force Ukrainian to become a national language, Kazakhs don't do that, and it comes very natural. You know, they don't say, oh, nobody speaks Russian, Finnish, nobody use Russian anywhere, it's prohibited and stuff. And younger generation, they can get it, can get Russian, but they speak Kazakh as well. In Ukraine, it's done by force, you know, like, oh, we're not friends with Russia anymore. Russian is prohibited. And because of this force, they have it backwards, you know, because when you force people not to speak Russian and use Ukrainian, they will do speak Russian in purpose.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And that's what's happening right now, because
really,
it's I went to Kiev for business trip in August, and I speak Russian, obviously. And you go, like, let's say, to some ministry, which has to speak Ukrainian by law. And they have all the paperwork in Ukrainian, but if you go there, they speak Russian. It's so funny for me. Police, they all supposed to speak Ukrainian, but they don't care. They speak Russian because they born and raised with Russian. They understand it. 90% of people speak Russian. It was so funny for me too, you know.
So they've been living in Ukraine like since they were born, but they speak Russian.
Ukraine separated from Russia in 91st, yes, after the Soviet Union collapsed.
And until then, they spoke spoke Russian, like Ukrainians were speaking Russian until then.
Until 91st, pretty much, theoretically, but in fact, until now, they speak Russian.
Yeah, until now they speak
until
Russian.
2014, when they got this conflict on the east, coming with Donbass separation and stuff. They don't care. Most of the schools were Russian speaking and most of the paperwork was Russian. But after the conflict on the east, they start to force Ukrainian to become a national language. You know, this is a big mistake. So I consider Ukrainians spoke Russian forever until 2015.
Wow.
So, and until now, the normal people, they still speak Russian, and it's okay. If you go there and speak Russian, everybody will.
That's interesting. I didn't know this. And have you seen the funny video on Facebook? It was Kazakh tongue twisters, like kurkil kurkushki kushkish kushkuskis kus kurkil kurkil. It was funny.
I don't speak any Kazakh anymore, so everything in Kazakh sounds to me like a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Yes, even my Slovak teacher, he gave me some Slovak tongue twister. I can't repeat it now, but it sounds like Kazakh to me as well.
I have some tongue twisters written, prepared here, but I suggest to start this in another video, so it starts from the beginning of the video, because if we do it now, it will be like buried under all these interviews, so people might not to get this far to that.
The educational part.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So can we make another one with phrases and
yeah, sure.
maybe those tongue twisters, and we can try your Slovak in another video a little bit. What do you think? I will write English idioms, and you will be guessing how to say that in Slovak language. What do you think?
Oh my God. You think I'm that good at Slovak already?
If you are not, you are going to be. I will be your teacher for an hour. So
okay.
it will be educational, but it won't be just about you learning Slovak, but it will be about learning, about teaching any people learning Slovak, So, and there are actually, you would be really surprised how many people are learning Slovak language in Facebook groups, like learn Slovak language. I was really surprised how many foreign people are learning Slovak language, actually.
Especially in Russian speakers, because majority of foreigners here are Ukrainian or Russian speakers. And they come to study, especially from Ukraine. They come to study in Slovak universities, or they ship the businesses here. There are plenty. I'm in few groups of Russian speakers in Slovakia, which include Ukrainians or Belarusian or whatsoever, and they study as well. But for us, it's way easier than for rest of Europe, believe me, because, as I said, we have same structure, logic, words. So
actually, I was inspired by about these videos. I was inspired by. Have you heard about Jen Dreamprague? Jen Dreamprague, it's Jennifer. She's Native American, and she moved to Prague, which is capital of Czech Republic, right? And she's been learning Czech language for a few years. She's been living there for a few years, and she has a really good, really cool YouTube channel, and also Daddy Gavin. His name is Gavin, I guess, and he's also American guy, American boy who also moved to Prague, and he speaks Czech, right? Like really good, really good. And this is very interesting that someone from America is able to learn almost fluent Czech language. So,
but why is there are many Slovaks who speak fluent English? So it's normal.
Yeah, but well, it's said in general that American people are not talented, gifted to learn.
Yes, because half of the world speak their language.
Yeah,
with effort.
And they are not also like not gifted, but they are also not interested.
because they don't need to.
Yeah.
We are the ones together struggle to study their language,
Yeah.
So they're lucky with that. But it's fine. Every time I've heard in Dubai, especially, there like some of people from the stable, for example, with the horses places, horse clubs, they complain that the guys who take care of their horses daily, grooms and stuff, and who works in stable hands, they don't speak proper English. And I'm like, yes, my dear, they speak another 2 or 3 languages and you speak only English. And once I was working as a horse trainer or horse like riding instructor in some very posh club, as like one of the most famous horse riding clubs in Dubai. And the parents were like British, American wives of like pilots or whoever. And they were like always like, oh, you have such a strong accent. Yes, my dear, I speak another 6 languages. And what do you speak, And they like really complain that you speak to their child or to them with an accent, or you do some mistakes or whatever. I was like, okay, guys, that's enough.
They complained about your accent. This was in which country?
In Dubai.
In Dubai. Really, I would say that they should be used to for a million accents from all over the world.
Exactly, but still native English speakers there, especially like rich wives or the wives of the rich guys, let's say, they like have nothing to do else but complain all the time. And they were like, oh, and as per my knowledge, now those clubs hire even not very good qualified instructors, but native speakers, like British 20 years old girls. Like what she can teach your kid in horse riding? She has no experience, but she's native speaker. She doesn't have an accent, I'm like, guys, this is ridiculous.
Well, I think English is a language of endless amount of accents, because only in the States I think there is different accent almost in every state, right? There is different accent in Texas. There is different accent in California, in New York, and that's only America. And there are a lot of accents in UK and everywhere else. So, and there is, in every European country has special accent. So,
but what, for example, if you, I have a friend in London. She is Latvian, but her job is accent correction for the Indian speakers.
She's an accent specialist, right?
Yeah. And why it's so popular? Because there are many immigrants from India. They come to study as a doctor, dentist, or whatever, and they stay in Britain. But the funny thing, and I noticed that too, because they born and raised with Indian language, regardless which of Tamil, Hindi, whatever, their mouth and their throat naturally developed in the way to be able to pronounce sounds from their native languages, and therefore when they speak English they will always have accent. It's almost, and she said it's almost impossible to get rid of an Indian accent. Is one of the strongest in the world if you're not born and raised in an English speaking country. If they were kids in India and they spoke Indian, they will always have this accent. But she has so many clients because they try.
Yeah.
But it's not a natural disorder. It's just, the throat developed this way. So that's why I think for us, like if you're a Russian speaking person, it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be less heard than for Indians, but you will always have like little bit of Russian sound or German or French. Yes, it's like a little bit, but you will have it. You can correct it, of course. You can sound pretty much, but you really need to think about it all the time, that you're not having an accent. Indians, they can think, I'm not being a racist now, but this is just what my friend
told me. Yeah.
They can spend 1,000 of hours, but only because of their, throat construction, they can't get rid of, unless they're born there. The kids who born there and were surrounded by British language from young age, they have no problems. But adults, it's impossible. They will always sound Indian. It's so funny.
Yeah. I think this is similar with gypsy people in Slovakia. You know, Cigáni. Cigáni or Rómovia. It's like two of gypsies have such strong accent, gypsy accent, that if they can live in Slovakia the whole life, but they always sound like gypsies. When I say, hello friend, can I borrow 1,000 euros? I say, čau kámo, môžeš mi požičať 1,000 eur? And they say, čo kámo, môžeš mi požičať 1,000 eur? They talk like some African,
But even people from East sound, for me as a foreigner, sound different than from Bratislava. It's like more, not singing is more softer. I think it sounds more softer.
Wait a second, people from Bratislava, what?
People from the east of Slovakia sound different than from Bratislava.
Oh, sure they do.
Yeah. Because I noticed that only when I start visiting east, and you can hear it, even being the foreigner. It's funny.
They not only sound differently from people in Bratislava, they sound differently from whole Slovakia, really, because Easterns have Eastern accent, like a little bit of Russian and
Ukrainian, Polish. I can hear some words which are not Slovakian. Russian word.
They speak such really different Slovak language. Like, it's hard to explain, but they also have a lot of words that we don't understand.
But I do, as the Russian speaker. Because the guy I'm working with, the rider in the stable, he is from East, and my boyfriend is from East, but he's long time in Bratislava, so he doesn't speak with an accent. But the guy just moved 3 years ago to Bratislava, and I can hear, sometimes when he's speaking, especially when his father is visiting, they speak like real different, but I can hear a lot of Russian words or Ukrainian.
There is also, Slovakia is a country of many accents, because up there is Orava, Orava, and there is there is very special accent influenced by Poland, I would say. Down there is Hungary. There are a lot of Hungarian people who speak Hungarian, and we have like me and people in Piešťany kind of belong into Trnava accent, Trnavian. We have such a hard Slovak.
Pronunciation.
Yeah, hard. We should say like kde ideš? Where are you going? And we say kde ideš?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's how for me sounds
Yeah.
is in Bratislava. I can hear this hardness in Bratislava, like what he said, for example, lane, you know, for me is lane. I'm like, oh, it's funny.
Very Eastern accent is very soft, I would say, very soft, and they
melodic.
the melody of speaking is very specific.
Even I can hear it.
Yeah, we talk I would say more hard and
one tone.
And there is another accent, specific accent is Western accent, and Western part of Slovakia is very influenced by Czech Republic. They have a slang like it's like Czechoslovakish language a little bit, you know. Many families are still mixed together there, and so it's very interesting.
Yeah, but that's normal. You've been one country just some time ago.
Yeah.
We're
Czechoslovakia until 1993.
Same with the Soviet Union. That's why many people, they were together for 91st. So that's why most of them got it like Russian.
Yeah.
Maybe not Mongolia. Well, I think Mongolia even speaks some Russian still.
Yeah. Well, what's the time? It's 6 p.m. I guess I should have some dinner now.
Yep.
And
me too.
and have some rest. So when do you have time to make the idiom video?
Next week, pretty much every day after 3. I'm very flexible because my job is freelance. So
can we do it like maybe tomorrow, maybe also today? I don't care.
Today, tomorrow I can't because I'm leaving now with my boyfriend flew out. But Monday I'm back. So from Monday to whenever.
Okay, fine. So
just let me know what to prepare and what time to connect.
Yeah, sure. I'm very flexible now, so we will let each other know.
Yep.
And you can prepare whatever you want. You can prepare some sentences or words in English that you would like to learn how to translate them into Slovak language. You can prepare some grammar stuff you would like to help with. It's up to you.
All right.
It's up to you. I have, as I said, I have some idioms. I have some tongue twisters. We can try also tongue twisters. I have also some animal sounds, like dog in English goes woof woof, right? And in Slovak it's how.
Oh my God.
So it can be also pretty funny. So anyway, it was a really great time to make this interview with you.
Yeah.
And thank you, and see you.
Welcome. See you sometime next week.
Sometime next week, and we will be more. We are going to teach you phrases, idioms, Slovak grammar, and so on, right?
Yes, if my brain can still get it because too many languages already. I need to erase one language I don't use. All right.
Okay, so have a
good
nice
evening.
Okay. So thank you once again and have a nice rest of the day, have a nice evening and next time.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.